Alright guys, a little something different here. I wanted to take a tutorial video today of how to install an aftermarket steering wheel onto a 300ZX Z32 chassis. It's not much different than the other videos out there, but the only one I saw was the one with the airbag module, which is more complicated and completely different to a degree, so I just want to do this. First off, tools you're going to need: Phillips head screwdriver, cross point, whatever you want to call it, hex key set or Allen wrench, whatever you want to call that. When you replace your steering wheel, the hub and adapter should come with a set of bolts and a little Allen key, but I use my own just because the ones it comes with normally suck. Anyway, this is my steering wheel right now. Currently it has an NRG quick release and an eBay hub, eBay Boss hub, whatever you want to call it. It's a piece of junk, okay? It's 20 bucks on eBay. As the saying goes, you get what you pay for. It is junk. So, take my wheel off. Wheel is by Stage 6 Motoring, my sponsor out of California. I'll put a link down in the description. Take a look at them. Okay. Here is the adapter plate on the hub itself, and as I said, that is garbage, and I'll show you why in a second. But needless to say, it is junk. And I think I've actually stripped one of these screws out, so I'll need to replace one of them later. And I don't smoke in my car, so my ashtray has become my extra screw holder along with my floorboard. These do not have much thread to them at all. I mean, they come out really quick, really easy, and if you put them in too tight, you will strip them out, forewarning. And it's also because the eBay kit, the Boss adapter, is junk, as I mentioned. No, I didn't strip the screw, surprisingly. I stripped the hub itself. How about that? Alright. Get this last little screw out. Alright, behind here, you're going to have the wires for your horn and other things. I'm going to disconnect that because the eBay one, it never worked to begin with, and I'll show you why as soon as I get this off. Like I said, it's junk. I would advise you to get something else before you ever consider buying eBay Boss kit. Next, you will need a wrench and possibly a puller to get your original steering wheel off. And okay, it is not 18, so it's 19. 19. The original nut is not on here tight. That's not the problem. Although I will show you one thing. The original, this is loose, and this is why I said it's junk. This is part of the reason. Even with the nut tied down, it is very loose. So we're just going to undo this. Okay, this again is a 19mm little socket here. Short socket's all you need, don't need a long one. Get this shit off. This is the little cover. It's hard plastic. I mean, there's no flex to that at all. That's supposed to replace the area that it doesn't cover. Anyway, NRG. This is going to be this one here, SRK 140H short hub. It is for the 240 chassis, but it does work on the Z32 because our cars are very similar. Okay, on this, so you have your wires for your horn. There's two wires here. This has one. This here has posts on the back. This is for your clock spring to flick your turn signals on and off. This does not have that. Again, and also, this is how short this is compared to the eBay one. It's literally half the freaking size, but I'm going to pull that off. Okay, why I said this is junk. Here's the NRG, here's the eBay. Note the NRG has a big copper back plate on here. This is for contacts with these 3 copper prongs, which you can see there's plastic shavings all over this one, because this piece of shit is a lot narrower than this one. And you can see the plastic has been scraped and eaten at by the prong. It wasn't even making contact with this metal plate, which is why my horn never worked. Word of caution. Now, I marked mine on the eBay hub. It says right here, top. That's where you would put it top. I have scored my shaft here, so I know which is top position. Because if you mount it wrong, your steering wheel is going to be at a cocked angle, and you can always fix it. It's just annoying and somewhat time consuming. And I just broke a plate, didn't I? Nope. Now, I had originally put a zip tie on here, hoping it would trigger the turn signals, and it didn't. Getting it off, however, is going to be a chore. There we go. Okay, zip tie is off. Alright, now on the original steering wheel, let me just show you what I do with this crap. Okay, here's the horn cover. Here's the back plate. Here is the clock spring mechanism that triggers it to cancel out. Anyway, this goes like this. Actually, no, I'm wrong. This is not the clock spring, this is just the contact for the horn. The clock spring on here that triggers it is actually on the back plate. Back plate goes on like that. There are 3 holes on here that line up, yada yada yada. And also the horn stuff lines up. Okay, that's on there. Next, your steering wheel goes on like so. The steering wheel also has a little nub showing top position, and there's your horn cover. To remove it, you're going to take your horn cover off, which just pops off, and then you disconnect the cruise control wiring and the horn wiring. When you get it off at this point, there'll be a little square bracket right here. You'll need to unscrew that and pull it off so you can access the nut holding the steering wheel on. At this point, take the nut off, but you may need a puller. I needed a puller to get my steering wheel off. They're put on so tight from the factory, you can't get it off reliably. Some people say you can rot the steering wheel and pull it off. I tried, it didn't work. I got a puller. You can go to any parts store, they'll loan it to you. You can do it in the parking lot. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's very easy. Once your steering wheel is off, first remove the screws on here. There's like 3 screws that hold the back plate on. I didn't do that and ended up breaking one of the prongs off. I was like, why is this not coming off? Yank. Oh, that's why it didn't come off. Anyway, once you have the screws off, back plate comes off, and this little metal contact for the prongs comes off. Anyway, set that aside. Now, here's the NRG short hub. It also has markings right here for top, little dent, and that should be top on here. We're going to push that into spot. It will only go on so much, and it won't go on anymore. So that's all there is. And in reverse, we're going to put the socket back on. Not the socket, we're going to put the nut back on anyway. Now you don't need to go overboard with the torque. You don't have to worry about this coming off. Just turn it hand tight, and then once it's snug, you're good. Alright. Next, we're going to connect the wires for the horn. Something that never worked on the eBay one at all, because it was a piece of shit. Then you're going to have the fun task of tucking the wires into this damn thing. Okay. Also on the adapter plate, there's going to be a little spot up here for top. Just line it up and start putting your screws in. Just finger tight at first until you get all the holes lined up. Otherwise you're going to have fun. There we go. Okay, now it's held together. I want to get some different screws here today, hopefully. I'm making a trip out to where I live. There is no parts, well, there's part stores, but there's no Home Depot, Lowe's, or anything that sells machine bolts like this. The closest thing I have is a Walmart, which Walmart doesn't sell shit. So with these, again, just, I would say finger tight, turn it until it stops, and then stop. Don't go overboard. Okay, that's on there. Now, your steering wheel, the steering wheels are basically the same. Your adapter and quick release, whichever, is going to bolt to it. There are 6 little bolts that connect to the steering wheel. You have a cover plate, you have your horn button, which this still doesn't work. I don't know if it is something I've done or what. I'll troubleshoot it later, but for now, that is Mind in a Box for those curious. Forgive the rattles. My center console is broken somewhat and it just shakes. I have like a piece of paper here literally to hold it in place so it doesn't shake. Anyway, turn signal. And those 2 clicks you're hearing is it disengaging the clock spring. Alright, turn signal works. Horn doesn't work. I'll figure out why. I might have something not connected right inside of this. Maybe, I don't know. Not worried about it. I never really used my horn to begin with. The big gripe I had with the eBay hub was my turn signals didn't work. I've seen eBay hubs where they have prongs on the back. This one has none. They're supposed to have prongs on the back to trigger your clock spring, so yeah, nothing. And it only has 1 wire for the horn. The hub itself is supposed to act as a ground. This is positive. It didn't work. It came with a little piece of metal ring right here. It's supposed to go here to trigger the grounding, to complete the circuit. That broke off immediately. The first time I tried to screw this down onto it, it broke. So again, this is garbage. This is a $20 eBay hub. Do yourself a favor, don't buy it. Trust me, it's worth the extra money for the NRG. You can get the NRG hardware for cheap. It's not the most expensive part on the market. It is the most popular. There are more expensive kits than the NRG. This is an NRG short hub and an NRG quick release. This is not a short quick release or the I think this is a Gen 1 quick release. They have now Generation 2 and Generation 3 hardware. So anyway, that's all there is to changing your steering wheel. It's very simple. Literally, there's some screws under here that hold your shroud on that cover all this crap. You remove those screws, take this off. Yep. Making sure. But take the screws off, pull your shroud off. That'll give you access to all this crap. On the steering wheel with the airbag, it's a whole nother story. But you're gonna take all that off. You're gonna pull your horn cover off, remove the screws holding the bracket on, remove the bracket. There's a 19mm nut in there. You're gonna unscrew that nut. You may need a puller to remove your steering wheel. At that point, you remove your steering wheel, you pull the back plate and the contact plate off, and as the video showed, just reverse it. If y'all have any questions, let me know. And I am at 15 minutes, so I've got to stop talking here. As you see, 15 minutes, it's already done. It literally took me just a few minutes to take it off and replace it. That's it. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. Check out my sponsor site. I'll put a link down in the description. And yeah. Also, check out our Facebook group. It is going to be Z32 Drivers on Facebook. We are the largest Z group dedicated to the 300ZX on Facebook. So come check us out. I'm one of the admins there. I'll try not to ban you and stuff if you ask stupid questions. Like, what is the best oil? Anyway, that's all for now, guys. Talk to you later.